Hello and welcome to another episode of Movies That Make Us. I'm Jake.
I'm Tracy.
And I'm Val.
And guys, February 24th, 2019, a star was born. And that star was Movies That Make Us.
We're 4 years old.
We are 4 years old.
We're toddlers.
We're toddlers now.
We're wobbly.
We're like 90% potty trained. Like
we're not pooping our pants anymore.
Nope.
Yeah, just the occasional like wet accident. You know, what happens.
That was the Karate Kid episode.
You can't stop playing to go use the restroom.
Exactly. That's my favorite, when they just sit there and it's like, why? I forgot I had to go. I don't understand forgetting that you have to go, but anyway. But yeah, 4 years old. I can't believe it. This is the episode that comes out the closest to our 4-year anniversary. So super exciting. I can't, a lot of podcasts, a lot of really good podcasts get started and they do a few episodes and then kind of peter out, but we're going strong still. That's pretty awesome.
Absolutely.
Can I say peter out? Is that appropriate? Am I going to get dinged for that one?
I've never heard that in my life.
I've heard it, and I
think old people say it. Yeah. Well, it's not tied to like Peter Tingles or anything like that, so it's fine.
Well, it should be.
Val's sporting her NBA jacket there tonight.
She's such a sweet jacket.
It's like one of those materials that's cold when it needs to be cold and warm when it needs to be warm.
Nice.
Yeah. Val got it because she's basically running the All-Star game this weekend.
Right. What's funny is, so I'm in the ticketing area, and so I'm constantly seeing people that I know. And like for media day, I went outside when all the media was waiting outside to come in, and I went out to get our Uber Eats, and I walked out and everybody's like, Val! And then I got to go back in, but they still had to wait outside. It was fun. But yeah, I'm like looking up, trying to help people, and I hear Val, and they're asking me questions about things I don't know about. Like, I'm sorry, I don't know about fun. I just know about tickets, kind of.
Where's Shang-Chi?
Not in my building. I don't get to go to Vivint.
Okay.
I'm working the crossover at the Salt Palace.
He was up at the Huntsman Center tonight.
Yeah, he was up at the Huntsman, and I'm not up there. Someone else is. But I have seen a bunch of WNBA players. I don't know who any of them are, but they look awesome. Like they just walk in 70 feet taller than me, and I'm just in awe of it.
I always appreciate your accuracy and non-hyperbole when you talk about stuff like that. Spot on.
And we've got some exciting news, Jake. We are going out collectively to California next year.
I was trying to think which exciting news we were going with, but yes.
There's been a lot of different exciting news going on behind the scenes.
This is how long of a day that I've been having, by the way.
Oh, that could be a problem. Might want to plug that in.
Yeah.
You might want to plug that in
there.
there.
Tracy's going to make us do exercise, but since we have to do exercise, it's going to be at Disneyland, so it doesn't count. Just the calories don't count.
You get to carb load the night before, and you get food after. It's wonderful.
Yeah. We signed up to do the 10K together. So the three of us are doing the 10K. And my wife asked me, how far is a 10K? And I said, it's 10 kilometers. And she didn't like the smart aleck response. So we looked it up on the Google. And it is 6.2 miles, Tracy.
You said you wanted to do the 10K, pal.
Well, I thought kilometers were like a lot smaller than miles.
But you're doing 6.2 going through Disneyland and California Adventure.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. It will. And I have a lot of work to do to get ready for it.
we're not going to
we're
be
gonna
like,
definitely.
can we do like a moment where we're all like quick walking, like the jazzercise
There is a
walker
guy.
ladies?
There is a guy who runs every Florida race as jogging Jack Sparrow, and he runs in full
Like
costume,
Jack Sparrow.
like Jack Sparrow,
The whole time?
the whole time.
That's
Stays
a
in
lot of
character
energy.
the whole time.
That is a lot of energy.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do it as walking Jake Dietz and just
you do
do
you,
that
man.
character the
I
whole
just
time.
want one moment where we're doing like the old,
Yeah, we can
like,
totally.
the old lady, like,
The power walk.
yeah.
Yeah, the mall
What I'm
power
excited for is every year we get to see the pictures that Tracy takes along his routes, and we are stopping for every picture. Mainly
Totally.
so I can catch my breath, but also to get a really cool picture.
I got to tell you, running up through the castle, and when it's still pretty dark is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Matterhorn at sunrise, it's pretty sweet.
Matterhorn.
Would
It's
you stop
cool.
with
Yeah, I'm
the,
sure it looks
like,
great.
negativity toward the Matterhorn? Come on.
Matterhorn is awesome to
It's a
look at.
painful ride. We know that. Yes.
It's like one of those people where you're like, oh, they're beautiful, and then you get up close and you're like, oh, that's a
Your
wreck.
personality's awful.
Yeah, maybe you shouldn't talk out loud.
Wow.
Matterhorn.
Not you.
Matterhorn. No, I like the Matterhorn. This is hurting my feelings because that's one of my favorite rides at Disneyland.
I'm sorry. I'll take a break
but
from
I have-
making fun of the Matterhorn.
No, it's okay. And I've heard those similar complaints from a lot of people. I just don't feel that way toward it.
Hmm.
And last time I went was 2020, which I think was still the same ride system they have now. Or is that pre?
I don't
Maybe
remember.
not. I don't know either.
I'm not sure.
We'll have to ride it together and find out.
But we're raising money again for American Cancer Society, so that's exciting.
We're going to be working together as a team.
Doing a good thing makes a huge difference for a lot of people. So
I almost just said I'll run for cancer, but I don't think that's the right. So just to let y'all know, this is a late night episode.
Yeah.
So things are going to be said.
When I was doing my very first Dopey, I almost called it Dopey for Cancer, and I'm like, wait, no, that's terrible.
Yeah. It is a late night episode, but the good news is one of the cinematographers for one of the films is Roger Deakins. So we know Tracy's all in on that one. So, but we did just go see Ant-Man and the Wasp,
Quantumania.
Yeah. We gave our initial reaction on our Facebook page. So if you got that, you saw that. But we will go in depth on Monday, and that may be our first Patreon episode. So we will get details to you guys to let you know how to sign up for that.
And
so
if you sign up, we will tell you all about what happened in the first post-credit scene with Ty from Multiplaying Podcast. So there's a teaser for it.
That is a teaser, and you definitely want to be there for that.
You definitely want to know what happened.
I think it's fun, like our 4-year anniversary, and we're finally starting a Patreon.
This is cool. We've talked about it for about 4 years.
I know.
Yeah, but the thing is, then you have to like do things, you know, and like we do this already, and so I think we needed that like time to like try to want to do more.
Well, now we're potty trained, so it's okay.
Yeah,
that's right. Except in the middle of getting the Patreon set up, I'm probably going to forget and have an accident. It'll be fine.
Cheers.
Tonight we are talking about 2 James Bond movies for 00 February. Really, because Spectre's not that great and we're not going to spend a lot of time on it. We're really going to talk about Skyfall the most. Am I wrong? No,
okay. You're not wrong. Like Spectre wasn't my least favorite so far that I've watched, but Skyfall is much, much better. Much better.
I think that the cool thing about James Bond movies, like even bad James Bond movies, are better than most regular movies. You know what I mean? Even like the worst ones are still not going to be as bad as most bad movies. So don't send me hate mail. I don't hate Spectre, but it's not my top. And out of Spectre and Skyfall, definitely going to watch Skyfall more and talk more about Skyfall.
A whole lot of hate mail based on that comment.
Yeah.
No, it seems like Skyfall is one of the more popular James Bond movies, maybe the most popular Daniel Craig James Bond movie.
I would agree.
Maybe that or Casino Royale, but
those two. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Skyfall for me has, out of the two, has the better intro.
Yeah.
I don't hate Sam Smith, but I don't. The Spectre intro didn't even really go with them. It was really weird. They were you could tell they were trying new things that then got better in Skyfall, that then got better in No Time to Die. I do think though in Skyfall, the Adele song really went back to like the original feel of a James Bond song.
Yeah,
but I didn't love the animation of that much either. Like it was okay.
Yeah.
But it was
yeah, but
the
if the song
was better than the video.
Yeah. I think with Spectre, I didn't care for the song or the animation, and so when they're both very good for I'm just not.
It's really hard when you go from those awesome like rock
like
intros with that awesome video,
Royale,
and then you go
Solace.
into this weird just like I peed my pants yesterday song.
Well, if you've been following us on Instagram, and I post the stories each Monday, I pick the opening credit song to go with it. Is what I've done with the last two. I can tell you it's going to be the Skyfall song on Monday, not the Spectre song. So
it just
spoilers.
Spoiler alert.
Well, and the thing about Skyfall too is I just feel like the whole thing is like, it's like when you get an amazing glass of Coca-Cola with ice, and I don't drink Coke very often, but sometimes you just want a glass of Coke with ice, just like they do in the movie theater. They put it in and you're just like, I want this.
Yeah.
But this one, you left out on the counter for a day. And now that delicious soda is watered down and you're not quite sure if it tastes good or bad.
Yeah.
If you even want it anymore, but you wanted it to begin with. I feel like that's what Spectre is, because we love Christoph Waltz. Christoph Waltz is a gem of a villain.
Right.
You don't even have to do anything to him. You just have him be in the room, and he's the best villain you've ever seen. And Spectre just happened to make him the most watered down version of any villain he's ever played.
Yeah.
I think that's a really great analogy, Val, because I felt like Skyfall, they got so much right in Skyfall. And I feel like what they did in Spectre is try to go back to what worked in Skyfall and go deeper. Like we get a little bit of James's background in Skyfall, right? He goes to his family's home. He's got the caretaker that was there that knows him. And you see the grave from his parents and all of that. And so they're like, ooh, people like that we dug in a little bit into James's past. And so then we get to Spectre and they're like, now we're going to dig even further. And it fell completely flat for me. It's like, okay.
They didn't go anywhere. They were digging, but for what?
Yeah.
Well, like when Christoph Waltz, when you see him the first time and like he looks up and you can tell this is a moment of recognition, but it was only a moment of recognition for James Bond, who knew who he was, but the audience was completely in the dark. And that was such a bad way to reveal that villain, because he looks up and the light shines and you see his face for the first time. And I'm thinking the whole time, this is somebody from the past that we've seen in one of the previous movies. That's who's going to show up here. And then he looks up. I'm like, I don't know who that is. But James knew who he was, but we don't find out until the movie goes further. And then it becomes clear what his connection was. And I just felt like it fell flat.
I have a hard time when movies do that, when it's like you're several movies in and then they're like, oh, here's this character that you have no idea who it was, but they've been behind the scenes the entire time.
Yes.
Like, you got to plant seeds, man. You got to give me something where I go, oh my gosh, that's been there the whole time.
And I think they did and we're not there yet, but like that's where they make up for it in No Time to Die, is they fix all of that. But I mean, following Javier Bardem's villain in Skyfall, I mean,
he was the best villain.
The cool thing about his being a villain is that it's almost the Thanos of the James Bond, because there are times in the movie where you understand why he feels the way he feels and why he's doing what he's doing, and what he's doing is awful.
Right.
But when they reveal like the whys, you're like, I mean, hey, like I get it. You know, I wouldn't do it, but like I kind of
understand
feel for
it.
you, even though I think you're an awful, awful human being. And like what they did with the blonde hair, he looks ridiculous, but in the best way. Like I love the cool thing about Javier Bardem is that he can be this amazing, like love character that cries when his kids leave and Eat, Pray, Love. Like I love him in that movie. And then you can throw him in this movie and he is the worst of worst, like villains. And he doesn't have to do much. There's something about his like silence, like the moment where he has James like tied to the chair and he's just doing these very like slow things and their banter back and forth, but you can tell that he is just evil, like evil, like the Fluids from the Devil. Oh, go ahead and
I just watched that movie earlier this week.
Know,
it's my favorite rom-com. We watched it on Valentine's Day. Man. I love it.
But also,
he was a bad guy. He tied him to the chair.
Well, he was so good, and his hair did look ridiculous. First time he shows up on screen, I'm like, they have done a horrible job on his makeup. He looks overly fake. But then when the movie goes on and they give you the reason for it, you're like, that was awesome. It was like a masterful job at the makeup and the hair because they gave a reason in the story why it was that way, and it made sense.
Still better hair than No Country for Old Men.
But he's still so good in that freaking movie. Like,
oh, totally.
And then, I mean, how do you compete with like Skyfall? At the beginning of Skyfall, you get literally everything but a plane. He is in cars. He is on top of roofs, on motorcycles. Right. He is on a train. Like all of this action, which is what we want to see. And I believe that the editing was okay, Tracy. So I don't think you're going to like perfect action movie editing. And then you go into like some of these really, you go from that into some of these really quiet moments almost directly after, but it doesn't feel jolty. It feels like it was just the way life should be.
Yeah.
And then you get to see how like her conflict and like that whole thing happening. Like, I don't know. It just, to me, it's like an almost perfect Bond movie. Skyfall.
Unlike Casino Royale, which we talked about, how there's that big space in the middle where it kind of grinds to a halt. Yeah. This one, this is like you're just like on a smooth roller coaster.
It was the right kind of pacing because I don't want action after action after action either. You've got to have time. We've talked about this before. You've got to have time to breathe, to catch your breath, to get ready for that next scene. And this gives us just enough time in between. And then brings it right back up, and it's just so much. And Dave Bautista, no, that's Spectre. Never mind, he was great in Spectre. He was the best villain in Spectre. I don't care, but
I agree with that.
And of course, Skyfall starts with James Bond getting killed. Basically, we think we know he didn't, but you know, and it was fun. I was talking to a group and told them that I had never seen a James Bond movie before we started 00 February, and I made the mistake of saying that M was my favorite character, and that if anything happens to her, I may just be done. And I hadn't finished Skyfall yet. And then when I finished it, but fortunately, Ray Fiennes makes a great M as well, so I was okay.
if you're gonna replace,
I mean, just wait for No Time to Die because you're gonna have some conflicts of feelings.
You haven't seen that one yet, have you?
I have not. I started it the first few minutes. So here's how my James Bond week went last week. I started with Skyfall. I got through that pretty quick. Like I mean, you know, a couple hours because that's how long the movie is. But I really enjoyed it. Didn't want to turn it off. Didn't want to stop. Edge of my seat. And then I watched Spectre, hoping that it was going to be similar, and it wasn't. And that's okay. And so I started No Time to Die because I'm like, now I have to see how it all ends, because I felt like Spectre kind of built us up for what could have been the conclusion, because we finally got to the guy who was behind it all, supposedly with Christoph Waltz's character. And then it was, like you said, about just a huge flat soda of disappointment and sadness. And so I'm
But
hoping No Time to Die kind of brings it
No
back.
Time to Die
You're gonna be
redeems
okay.
everything that you do not like about Spectre. So No Time to Die is just barely, and I know I'm jumping ahead, is just barely, like by a smidgen, my favorite James Bond movie.
I need to watch it again, but right now I'd say Skyfall with
It's like Skyfall is so close,
yeah,
but there are
Yeah.
so many things that they do right
the ending
in both
is
movies, but
fantastic.
that ending is what it's what brings me over the edge.
Yeah.
So I have, as far as I've gotten into No Time to Die, was
I can't believe you're starting and stopping that movie. I'm really
Yeah.
angry at you right now, Jake. You need to sit and
I'm
watch
gonna
it all the
start
way
it over. I started it at a bad time and I shouldn't have started it, and I knew better than to start it. So now I've got to go back and start over. But as far as I've gotten, and we're not talking about No Time to Die, we're not there yet, but it's her as a little girl in the house, right? And they're being attacked by that assassin who's going to kill her dad's family, and it's her getting the gun from under the sink. And what I loved about that is it was a total callback to Spectre, and I was like, I know, I got that.
Wait a
I
minute.
felt like Captain America. I got that
You got that
reference,
reference.
and it was exciting. But I promise you, Val, I'm going to sit down and watch this from start to finish,
Yeah,
because
No
as
Time
I
to
started
Die
it, I
makes
said this wasn't a good idea. So
No Time to Die makes Spectre a better movie.
Yes.
And so I think it's a lot of good, like they do it justice. And I'm not, again, I'm ragging on Spectre in this episode because out of these two movies, Skyfall is the better movie.
I like Spectre more than Quantum of Solace. I know you two won't agree with me, but
no, I like it better than
no, I
Casino
liked it better than
Royale.
Quantum of Solace.
because you guys both didn't care for Casino as much as I did.
Yeah, Casino Royale is probably my least favorite out of all of them.
Quantum's mine. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, and I can see Quantum being yours, Tracy. Like I don't think that's a bad take, I guess is what I'm saying. Like I can get it.
Like Val said, it's not like it's a terrible movie. I think I gave it a B-.
I
But
mean, it's not. Never mind. I was going to make a comment, but that's spoilery for another movie, and it's too soon. So I'll wait.
But look at me, I'm a dick.
Don't be a dick.
It's never too late to stop.
It's never too late. You just need some pretty young lady to tell you that, and instantly you'll just change. Oh well.
That's
anyway,
a weird comment.
That was a weird comment, but it's not untrue. If you don't know what we're referencing, I'm sorry, but you will soon, I'm sure.
And you will, yeah.
Yeah.
But as bad as Spectre can be at times, that opening segment is beautifully shot cinematically. Like that is, I'm not a big fan of like one takes, because oftentimes it's just like the director and the cinematographer going, look what we can do, but this one works really well for me. Like it flows really well. And there's some really complicated maneuvers in there. Like it's on the street in the Mexico, and then it's going up in the building, and then it's inside the building, and we're going on the rooftops, and then we're jumping across buildings. And that it's like, I think I timed it out, Jake. Didn't I say it was like 4.5 minutes or something? I can't remember now.
Yeah, I think you said something like that.
But I'm like, that's hard to do. That's really hard to do, especially in an action spy sequence. So,
but if it's done right, it looks really cool.
Yeah,
this was done right.
Yeah,
and that's the thing that sorry, Tracy.
Oh no, go ahead. Go ahead.
I think that's the thing that's so maddening about Spectre, in my opinion, and why I start, because there are so many things like that are really, really good. And it's like, and then there are just so many missed moments, and the missed moments make you, I don't know, it made me upset that the other moments were so good.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Do you guys realize that every week that we do this, it's all one shot? Like
That's a good point.
We're just as cool.
There's no edits here.
Yeah. So what they did in Spectre,
4.5
what
minutes,
they've done in Spectre, yeah, we do it for an hour, and we've done it 176 times now. So
actually 177, but we won't talk about that one episode.
Yeah, that's fine.
There's a lost episode that we may put in a Patreon a year from now for our 5-year anniversary, so you can listen to the worst thing ever.
It's lost. It's gone. It's been destroyed.
So
you don't know that.
We do a pretty good job of picking movies that at least 2 out of the 3 of us really like. And usually we pick movies that 3 out of the 3 of us really like.
Yes. Yeah.
One time we picked one that 0 out of 3 of us liked.
And we didn't realize
was not a good show.
We
realized our format only works when we pick movies that we like. It does not work when we pick bad movies.
It's because we don't like to sit and pull things apart all the way and like be jerky about stuff. Like we'll sit and razz each other about certain things, but that's like fun. I just don't love to like sit and be a jerk about things.
Yeah, there are some critics who like make their hay by coming up with something snarky on everything.
Yeah, and that's great for them. You can go watch those snarky shows, but we're not.
Yeah, we're not that.
We're in jest on this movie.
So getting back to everything that was wrong with Spectre. Oh wait, no, that sounds like that's wrong.
No, but we're being playful about it.
Yeah,
we are, and it's fun, and we don't pick things apart, and that's my feeling on it is. And now I'm going to get nostalgic. Like. We pick movies that we like because there's enough negativity on the internet. If you guys want to find super negative stuff about stuff that people like or don't like or whatever, like it's out there. You don't even have to look that hard. We just don't want to add to it.
Really?
Unless we're talking about M. Night Shyamalan and then Tracy's all on board with getting super negative.
It's usually only one of us and it's fun.
And it's usually me.
Like our Ant-Man episode, I'm going to have some moments.
Me too.
Know right now.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't. This is a good time, though. This is a good time to remind you all to subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't yet. Go ahead and subscribe. Click the bell so you get notifications when new videos drop. So you'll never miss another Movies That Make Us episode. And let's be honest. When you miss them, it's sad. Yeah. And we make your life better just by being us.
By listening to us and following us online, you get a chance to go to the movies in advance.
That's right. We had tickets. We had tickets to our screening, not our screening, but a screening of Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. We had 2 of our fans, our listeners, that ended up being able to go that won tickets. We love being able to do that. And
we have some movies coming up this week that you're going to be able to, if you want to go see Cocaine Bear with me and Tracy.
Yes.
Val threw that out there, and I'm sure our listeners and viewers will be shocked to hear I said I was going to kindly pass on Cocaine Bear. It didn't seem like a Jake movie. It just didn't.
Yeah.
It's
probably crossing my fingers, but we'll see if I have some Creed tickets to give away.
Ooh.
But I do want to say that I put a little what's the word I'm looking for? I put a suggestion into our friend Jeff's ear over at Megaplex to do a Creed marathon.
Ooh.
And they have requested it. And if they do, we get to host a panel before the marathon for all the Creed fans to come and chat with us.
Cool.
I don't know if it's going to happen.
Hey.
They've put it out to request it. We will see.
That's cool.
All 3 Creed movies one day.
I can't think of a better way to spend a day, honestly. I love the Creed movies. Yeah. And for our listeners, we joked about doing March Night Shyamalan for March. We are not going to do that, but we are going to do the Creed movies leading up to Creed 3. So those of you that stopped listening because you thought we were going to do that, please don't stop listening in March. We are not doing
listening.
I know.
It's coming soon. We're probably going to have to pack those in one show because I'm actually seeing it tomorrow night. So
you're seeing what tomorrow night?
Creed.
Creed.
Oh.
Tomorrow night being Tuesday.
Nice. Yeah. And then Wednesday, Cocaine Bear. That's a nice
one. Creed and then Cocaine Bear.
Dude.
I mean, what could be the better week for movies?
you just got to admit
I mean, off the top of my head, Creed and almost any other movie, I would think But
It's
I
like
could be wrong. Cocaine
Jake,
Bear may
it's
be
like
the hit of our generation. We don't know.
yes. It's
But
like Snakes on a Plane. Like
I
it
feel
is
like
just the perfect title.
I
It just sums
I
up
don't know that
everything.
that's where you want to go to sell me on like quality comedy. Like it could
I-
be Snakes on
I
a
will
Plane.
say, that was the funnest. Well, it's tied for the funnest screening I've ever been to, because there were a bunch of people who all were in the right mood to just heckle that movie. It was our own personal MST3K, kind of like what Dave did with Sharknado.
I was going to say,
So,
if Sharknado's not the one that it's tied with, Tracy, I'm going to be really angry right now.
well, I didn't see Sharknado in the theater. I just saw that at home. But
I know you saw it in the theater because you saw it with me in the theater.
Yes, but
maybe not the first time.
Yeah.
I just think that anytime anybody says the movie title for Cocaine Bear, they need to say it as if now you guys talk so much that I totally forgot who I was going to say, but it should be Cocaine Bear. Cocaine Bear. Like you need to go up with it.
Bear.
And I
Okay.
think my dog just pooped on the carpet, so that's
Lovely.
Like us, it's not. Your dog's not totally
Good
potty
potty
trained.
trained.
Like us. Yeah, I have heard though that there's already been an idea pitched for the sequel to be Cocaine Shark, Tracy.
I have heard that.
Is right
Which
up your
again,
alley.
I'm down for. Absolutely.
That's right up your alley. I don't know that we want to say that after you say cocaine.
Sorry. Bad
What are you talking about?
choice of words.
There's actually a web browser game, Jake, where you like run around it's like Pac-Man. You have to eat the people and consume the cocaine to keep going, to give you energy.
Oh my gosh.
It's like
What
an 8-bit.
is going on in this world?
It's like an 8-bit game, so it's like an old Nintendo game. It's actually kind of charming.
I like that you shared that with me. Like, hey Jake, you should check this out. And like, it's the next thing I'm going to do after we're done recording this.
You can play as a family, whatever you want to do.
The blood is pixels, so it's okay.
Yeah. That'll be good. My kids will go to school. I play this game with my dad where we run around and eat this white stuff.
All right. So Roger Deakins.
Yeah.
Roger Deakins. Let's just kind of go through this list a little bit here, okay? Sid and Nancy back in 86. Then he had Barton Fink, so he's worked with the Coen brothers a lot. He's worked with the Coen brothers 12 times, and Barton Fink was the first one. Hudsucker Proxy, Secret Garden, Fargo, The Big Lebowski, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, A Beautiful Mind, House of Sand and Fog, The Village, Jarhead, No Country.
You have to like it. You have to like it because of him.
What do you do? What do you do when Roger Deakins does the cinematography for
the cinematography
an M. Night
was
Shyamalan movie?
Yeah, the movie wasn't good, but
that's what you
the
do.
cinematography was nice. The Assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford. A Serious Man. He was a visual consultant on How to Train Your Dragon, Rango, Skyfall, Prisoner, Sicario, Blade Runner 2049, 1917. He was a consultant on Wall-E. I mean, the list just goes on and on.
You're saying he's got a chance.
He's got a chance.
I just feel like he basically just shoots the same movie over and over again because those are all exactly the same.
Absolutely. Genre guy. And I will say the skyscraper fight in this is one of the most beautifully shot fight sequences. The John Wick movies, a couple of those have come kind of close, but it's just the blues in there are so blue and just reflections on glass and
the
We're
coloring
gonna have tickets
in
for that movie.
What's that?
We're gonna have tickets for that movie.
Nice.
Which one? John Wick.
The thing about John Wick, like the cinematography is really good in John Wick, but I also just it's literally just a video game.
It totally is.
Of him killing everyone.
It's 100%. Absolutely.
It's the same movie 70 million times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's one of those, Jake, where it's just action, 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 action. There's like no break.
It literally is like watching someone play a video game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what do you call it? First person shooter or whatever the crap? I don't know.
Yeah. An FPS.
Well, that's my other favorite pastime. I like to look up the YouTube channels where kids are playing video games and just watch them play. No, that's my kids that do that, and it's just
Oh.
yeah, I get confused.
And our
I spend more time watching it than I'd like, but not by choice. So no,
but this is actually the first Bond film that was shot on digital, and they were really nervous to do
interesting.
it. And so that's one of the reasons they went with Deakins, because they're like, okay, if we're going to do this, we're going to go with this guy.
I don't know if you know this, Tracy, but Deakins is like a big deal, and I know you know that he is. But I'm talking like his name keeps popping up like on TikTok all over the place. People are talking about Roger Deakins over and over again. Like he's getting this cult following of you know people who are into film and everything. Like if it's a
That's
Deakins
cool.
movie, they don't care what the subject matter is; they're going to go see it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean, like his Blade Runner 2049. Oh, that the thing with his movies is you can like pretty much take any frame from that movie and blow it up and put it up as a poster on the wall. I mean, it's like even the
yeah,
dialogue sequences are
I was
just
surprised to
so
hear you
beautifully
mention Blade Runner 2049 because you've never mentioned liking that movie before, Tracy.
not as much as some others, but I just
Yeah.
just the coloring that he does, like
Yeah.
when Bond is on that boat going into the harbor and it has that lit up dragon, and you get the reflection off the water and you get the city down below or out in the background. It's just, I'm serious. You could like take that and make a poster out of that. It's just fantastic.
Yeah, this movie visually, the story was fantastic. The actors were fantastic, but visually, it just felt like it took it into a new realm
Right?
for the James Bond movies. To me, I feel like this is where it jumps from being um, a newish movie to like a modern movie in the way it looks and it feels. And like
Mm-hmm.
Casino Royale and Quantum of Solace, they're not old movies, but they're like getting older. And when you watch them,
Yeah.
they they feel newish, but not as modern as I think Skyfall did
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
Spectre.
And
So
and again, we talked about this with Quantum of Solace, but some of the fight scenes in Skyfall, they just let the scene happen. And
yeah.
personally, that's one of my favorite things is watching the camera and the choreography along with the actors. I mean, even in some of the dialogue scenes, like even on the scenes where they're going back to Skyfall and they're back at
Mhm.
James' old house and they're kind of booby trapping the place, the way they're moving through the rooms and doors and the characters are moving one way and the camera's moving another, it's like a dance,
Yeah.
and it's just so interesting to watch. I love it.
I like that scene. It to me, I felt like they ripped off Home Alone a little bit, but it was fine. It worked.
A little more violent.
Well, sure. Kevin didn't have the same access to skills and ammunition that he had, so
Shotgun shells in the light bulbs.
yeah. I
Ooh,
didn't know
that
you
one.
could do that. I tried
I
it
believe it.
afterward, and it totally works.
You did not.
The
I did
ATF
not.
was called to Jake's house later that night.
Yeah, I didn't do that. Obviously, kids don't try it at home. Uh, I feel like that shouldn't need to be said on a James Bond movie. Like, don't try this stuff at home.
Did you guys? Did you ever see the MythBusters episode where they did all the James Bond cliches?
Yeah, it was good.
That was a fun one.
Yeah.
They did like if you could really decapitate someone with a top hat or a
Yeah.
bowler hat, and like, can you really jump around a corner and shoot blindly and hit somebody? I mean, there. But it's interesting how much Bond has really brought to the pop culture. Like, and it's fun because Jake, like you had never seen them before this, but like
Right.
you knew of Bond and you knew some of the tropes and the cliches.
Oh, for sure. Like, you know that he introduces himself Bond, James Bond, and he likes his martini shaken, not stirred, except for this
Mhm.
Bond who apparently does whatever he
Creates his
wants.
own.
Does
with
it
his
look
drinks.
like I care?
I know. Yeah,
That's what
exactly.
he says.
When he's, I know. Does it look like I care whether? And so I like that they kind of buck that a little bit in this, but yeah, even that was one of the things that I liked about Skyfall. Like I knew some of the character names. Like I knew there was M. I knew there was Q. I knew
Mm-hmm.
there was Money Penny. But
Money
like
funny.
until Skyfall, we'd only gotten M. Now we
Yeah.
got M. We got Q.
Yeah, I
And
loved meeting Q and how their banter back and
Yes.
forth. Like he's like, "Well, why don't you even need me?" And he's like, "Well, when you got to shoot people, like that's
Yeah.
like why
That's what we need
when
an
you got to
agent
go
for.
in and shoot people. I'm not going to go in and shoot people."
Yeah.
And
I'll
then
do
when they're
everything
trying
else.
to find Javier Bardem, and he's like, "I know where I am. Where is he?"
I can see you. Yeah. Thanks. Not helpful.
And
And I like
think
their banter even more in Spectre, believe it or not, just because
Yeah.
that
Yes.
relationship has
No,
been
I think
built
I
and they go
love
back
their
and forth and it
character.
grows.
And it gets even better in
Yeah.
No Time to Die. And so
Yeah.
I just love the whole like those three movies and how their relationship evolves makes kind of the end of it even better, even though it's sad. But
Yeah. But you're right, Tracy. I mean, I knew that he has to drive an Aston Martin. I knew that
Mhm.
like all of the stuff that like
All
you
the
just know about James Bond. The
everything's
white
long.
dinner jacket is kind of his trademark as well. And so it has had a huge effect on the pop culture,
And
on the
it's
zeitgeist.
interesting too, because I don't think that any other Bond had every film of that actor tie in as one big story.
I
Like
don't
all
think
the
so
others,
either.
I think were just like standalone adventures.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
because
Kind of-
even like the women and everything were different in
Yeah.
every movie leading up to.
And I just kind of feel like Spectre, they just kind of went, well, let's do. It was kind of like the Rise of Skywalker to me. It was kind of like, oh, we're just going to kind of retcon things, and we're just going to kind of shove stuff in, and this guy was over here the whole time, and it just, I don't know. I've got some real issues
Yeah.
with it.
And it feels that way. Like all of a sudden he's the guy pulling the strings
Mhm.
behind everything. It just didn't feel natural at all.
Mission Impossible did that too, and I had the same feeling. I was like,
Yeah.
don't, if you haven't planted the Easter eggs, don't try and pull that off.
Like it's really cool when you watch a movie series or you read a book series where those Easter eggs are planted
Mhm.
throughout and then you can go back and piece all of that together.
Like, oh
Then it
my
is
gosh,
really
it's
cool.
right there. Yeah.
But it is not as cool when that's not the case. When it's like, oh, we've decided now that we're putting this all together and it's all this guy that's behind him.
You kind of
You
feel
know.
cheated, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Because that's and the thing is, it's really sad. It's if there was anybody that could be the villain that
yeah.
was behind everything, that was the
Yeah.
mastermind behind it
Mhm.
all. Christoph Waltz is the guy that could do that.
Yep.
I think that's what makes me so upset about this movie
Mhm.
is that again, like you don't even need to do much for him.
Right.
No.
He's just going to show up and be the best villain there, and yet somehow
He didn't make
It
it
didn't.
happen.
Yeah. Like it should not be the case that the villain that I enjoyed more in the movie was Dave Bautista's villain
I
and
forgot
not
he
his
was in
villain.
this.
Yeah, when he showed up, I'm like, oh wow. And he actually does a great job acting the part because he doesn't talk at all
He
until
gets
the
two
very end.
words.
Yeah. But he does a great job not
Yeah.
doing that.
And I think it's interesting because I think at the time people just saw him as a physical his physical stature. Like he's
Yeah.
a big brawly guy that can take on Daniel Craig. Because like not many people can get into a fight with Daniel Craig and you go, I believe that you could handle him. Like Daniel
Yeah.
Craig is to me the first Bond where it's like he could legit kick your butt and no questions asked, right?
except for when he goes up against Javier Bardem, and I'm like, they're going to kill each other till they're dead, both of them.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that, I mean, you believed it.
Right.
Like not
Right.
only like physically can they take each other out, but mentally it's this
Mhm.
mental
Mhm.
like back and forth with each other, and which I think was even like a better layer of it.
Absolutely. Yeah. So it's fun to see how far Batista's come.
Yeah.
Working, and I like the fact that he's like, because, and we've talked about this a little bit before, Jake. I feel like the Rock kind of just like relies on I'm the Rock, and Batista
Yeah.
to me is like somebody who's like, okay, I want to grow, I want to learn, I'm going to be humble, I'm going to come in and earn my way up. And
I think in some of the stuff that he's done, he's got some genuine talent.
I agree.
I think I mean, I don't know that he's ever, I mean, you never want to say never, but I don't know that he's ever going to be up there winning best actor for anything. But the days
Glass Onion surprised
he was
the heck
great.
out of me. Yeah.
And I think it just goes to show, because the first wrestler to ever kind of really make that jump into doing movies was Hulk Hogan, right? And he was never good. He was never good. And then
Mr. Nanny.
Yeah,
Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, over the top. His best role was Thunderlips, where he played basically himself, but with a different name.
Thunderlips is the movie?
That's in the Rocky movies.
Rocky 3.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I'm not here.
You're fine. You're fine, Val. It's the end of a long day.
Night one and Val and we all get silly, and tonight, yeah.
I've been up since 5 a.m.
Yeah.
But I think, though, that some of these wrestlers now that have made that jump, I think John Cena does a pretty good job in the stuff that he's in.
Surprisingly good, yeah.
And I think that that's fun to see. Plus, that fight scene with Daniel Craig and Batista is really well done, because he knows how to choreograph a fight and make it look right.
Both of those guys know how to sell a punch. Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. We should probably rate these movies. We should give them grades. Should we do it in order of release, or should we do it in order of the higher grade?
Let's do order of release.
Okay. So Skyfall.
I'll start us off. Skyfall to me is an A. It's right there with No Time to Die. It's beautifully shot. It's like just so gorgeous. The script is great. Javier Bardem is a great villain. Daniel Craig's top of his form. You get Ralph Fiennes. You get Dame Judi Dench. It's a phenomenal film, and it's right there as one of my favorite all-time Bond films.
Yep.
I'm like a B plus A minus. Like I'm just kind of like right there, and I can't decide, but it's like it's right there in that area. There was something in between a B plus and an A minus.
What it would be. I'm gonna go all the way to an A on this one. This was the first one that I really I mean, I enjoyed Casino Royale and I enjoyed Quantum of Solace fine, but like this was one where I'm like, now I'm into it. I'm into this character. I'm into the movie, like, and it made me excited to watch the next one, which I'll give a grade to in a minute. But I'm gonna give Skyfall an A.
Okay.
So, and the villain was great. I think it's the best villain in the series that I've seen so far.
Yeah.
So
fine, I'll go A minus for the villain.
Technically, it's a AAA rated.
It's AAA rated. I don't think Spectre's going to get that high. Well, I know it's not. I'm not.
Triple minus rated.
I don't know. For me, Spectre, I'm debating between a B minus and a B. And I think I'm going to go B minus just because I'm so, like, it just ticks me off to think about how potentially
coming
good.
Off of the high.
Yeah.
And coming off the high of
Skyfall. All of the pieces to have a great movie, and somehow they messed it up.
Yeah.
Like, how did
that's
infuriating.
How
mess it up? Yeah, B minus for me too.
I'll go B just because I like it better than Quantum of Solace, and I gave that one a B minus.
I don't remember.
I don't remember what grades I gave. Listen, I'm not that technical, folks. You got to know. I'm going to give it.
It's somewhere in that area. I don't think I went into the C range, but I like it enough. It's okay. It's got some nice cinematography.
It does.
It tries hard, but yeah, I'll probably go B.
It's a beautiful movie. I think visually it's a stunning movie, but as our friend Mark Woodring would point out, if all you can say about the movie is that it's visually stunning, it's not necessarily a good movie.
That's a solid plug right there.
Yeah.
Well done, Jay.
It's all right. You can mail us the check, Mark. It's no problem. Well, there you go. Skyfall, Spectre. Next week we wrap up 00 February with No Time to Die, which I feel like is an ironic name for the movie from what I've heard. Yeah, it's been spoiled already. Sorry, guys. But we'll be back with that, and then we'll move into March with some Creed coverage and some other
Creed
things.
coverage, Creed
And then look.
coverage.
Go ahead, Tracy.
I was just gonna say, and I get to pick a movie because it's my birthday month.
Yay, birthday month.
It's Tracy's birthday month, so I can't.
What are you gonna make us watch?
Sharknado 2. Just kidding.
All right.
Just kidding.
Well, it's your birthday month. I made you guys watch Wayne's World for my birthday, so
that's all right. I like that one.
Yeah, that's nothing.
Yeah.
Camera 1, camera 2, camera 1, camera 2.
Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Go ahead, Tracy. What were we gonna plug?
I was just gonna say before we get out, I'm gonna be posting tomorrow, or I guess it'll be over the weekend, so it's already up there. Some of the new trailers for things that have come out. We got a trailer for The Flash. We got Guardians of the Galaxy 3. We got a short one for Indiana Jones, all during the Super Bowl. And then today, out of nowhere, I was very surprised, a movie about Tetris, and it actually looks really good.
Why aren't you mentioning the new Fast X trailer?
That's true. There was
and the final trailer for Creed 3. They all came out Super Bowl.
Yes, and I'm going to be putting these on our page, so go and check them out if you haven't.
Yeah, Fast X looks like it will be exactly what I expected it to be.
It's a
That's why I love it so much. Yeah. It's exactly what I expect it to be. When I show up, the fam is all there.
Yep,
I'm feeling it.
It's like Cocaine Bear. I
don't even know what's going to happen in that.
There's going to be a bear
and it's going to eat cocaine,
and it's going to go nuts. What? It's going to go on a rampage, and people have to stop it.
We just go see the movie for us.
I'll go on ABC for you.
Write my review for me.
The Flash.
You're like, Val doesn't usually go for these types of films. You really enjoyed it.
The Flash movie looks really good, and that's really painful for me.
You just like it because you get your Batman.
Nothing wrong with that.
I do like it for that reason, but it didn't. Yeah. It looked decent.
I will say the poster was awful, so I was surprised the trailer was that good.
I will say this: when the first Batman v Superman trailer came out, I was like, "Yeah, this looks."
Me too. I had confidence.
That's true.
So they do a great job putting their trailers together. So we'll see how the movie is.
Coming soon, we've got Shazam 2, Fury of the Gods.
Yeah, we will probably have tickets for that.
So,
lots of fun stuff coming up. The Indiana Jones trailer looks good too.
2023 is the action movie year, and I'm loving it. But I'm going to throw it out right now, and I will say it again. If Creed 3 sucks, I'm just going to be ornery until the end of the year, and you're all going to have to deal with it.
That's okay.
I don't think it's going to, Val.
I don't either.
Think it's going to.
I'm not after Ant-Man. I'm just not getting my hopes up. I'm just going to be out here minding my own business, and I'm just.
It was one of the best parts of that movie, though.
I'm going to quietly sneak into Creed 3. I'm not going to make any sudden moves or loud noises, and then I'm just going to sit there and hope for the best.
There you go. This whole year, folks, we've heard it here. Hinges on Creed 3. We will know. We will know Wednesday morning. We will know Wednesday morning how the rest of this year is going to go because Val will have seen Creed 3.
I'm just going to put a whole bunch of signs up on Facebook. Delete, bleeped out.
Read between the lines.
That's what it's going to be.
Have you heard that it's not going to be good, Val? Have you heard rumblings that it's not?
I just am trying to prepare myself just in case. Dave asked me if I could wait until after our trip to South Africa to be in a bad mood, and I said okay, I can do that because he's my babe.
Can you please not be in a bad mood until after we get back from South Africa, please?
So this is a good strategy. I think Dave is employing a good strategy. Can you just put it off until after the trip? And then when you get home, it's going to be, look, we just got home. Can we wait like a week before you
a little more?
And then he's got to find new excuses every day to just kind of put it off a couple days.
The tattoo convention's coming up. Don't ruin that for me. I'm competing for money.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is manipulation.
I hope that it's good. There's other good stuff coming out. Into the Spider-Verse is coming out this year.
Yes.
The second one. We'll see. We got the poster for the Marvels. I don't know why I'm dragging this episode out. We're ready to go to bed. We're done. It's late at night. I'm sorry. Everybody subscribe, like,
we didn't
share
go off
our
the rails
videos.
until the end this time.
No, we went off the rails in the middle. Go back and listen to the episode again. Hear it.
A little. Not as bad as I feared.
Thank you so much for your support. And until next time, we won't see you at the movies.
Oh, wait, one more thing.
No.
This has been an Age of Geek media production.